cool.
I love that.
Andy Warhol did the Campbell soup cans was a projector.
Correct.
And it was a realistic. Now, if you want to do an abstract loose renditions of Campbell soup cans, you can do that
You
too.
can do that too.
Do it both.
Yeah,
Do both. Just use the tools in front of you. That's the most important part.
I think that's beautiful.
Now, the pyramids were used by the aliens made the pyramids.
I know, man.
Because if I watched those shows.
And I don't have the same tools they had.
Those stones. There's no way they were made by human hands.
I did not have the same tools they had.
It still baffles me. Like, I can't wrap my mind around it. It's like, that's a whole different podcast, guys. That's a whole different
rabbit hole.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs. Okay,
Next show.
I digress.
This is crazy.
So
but anyway, but what about your week, Malcolm? What about your week? Let's go into your week. How was your week, my guy?
My week was amazing.
Did a whole 10-minute bit on that.
This would make
great.
this show great. This would make this art great. For this week for me, I worked on the piece off of the show.
Cool.
We also have a T-shirt club coming up pretty soon in April. 1 T-shirt a month, one flat fee, including shipping. It's gonna be dope. Different ways for you to get your art out to your people who love you.
Okay.
Just put it on a shirt. Everybody may not hang it up in their house, but they definitely wear a shirt with it. So we got that club coming next month.
Everybody needs a shirt too.
Oh, but
everybody needs a shirt. You can't be walking around here with no shirt on.
And
especially you. I know you, the guy that's looking at me thinking that that's not a. That
he don't got no shirt on right now.
Like for yourself, man.
Right.
Nobody wants to see your taco meat. Nobody wants to see that.
So, yeah, man. So we got that coming next month. So we prepping for that, all together. And, we out of 28. So I'm vibing. I don't want to create nothing right now. I'm just enjoying life.
Well, you say that, but you got funky with it too this week.
You know I did.
Because there's something happening on April 1st, which you were also partaking in, right?
Yes, me and you said over 100 other artists.
There's at last count 107.
107. Okay, so Marc, I don't really care about my weekly recap. I mean, it's a dope recap. I'm happy to be here, but I'm happy to have you here. So let's tell the world, Amazon app, those who's watching and listening,
what time is doing?
What time it is? What's going on?
All right.
What's the show's about? Why are we doing it? I have questions. I know Corey got questions.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna deep dive inside.
Well, I was. Last fall, I was reading an article about Marc Fogel.
Okay.
And he's a teacher from Oakmont who he's gone to Russia, I think, 10 times. I think he teaches kids from the U.S. Embassy.
Yes, sir.
History and English or what have you. And I was reading the article that he arrived in Moscow in August of 2021, and he was just getting ready to teach. He has a pair of shorts on and kind of a Hawaiian shirt on. And he has a mask, and he's checking in through security. He's got a really bad back. And he had, I think, don't quote me, but I think he's had a couple surgeries, but he's got a really bad back.
Okay.
So he's been prescribed with cannabis from his doctor. So he had a couple little vials of it. They went through his suitcase. They found him. They put him in jail. A year later, he's sentenced to 14 years in a Russian prison with drug dealers and murderers and whoever.
So he's been there already for a year already.
Yeah, and this photograph of him looked like the photographs that I took of you and the other subjects for Really Big Faces, the show we had at the Innovation Center last year. It was 84 giant portraits of Pittsburghers.
Right.
I took photos with just closed lip smile, like Mona Lisa smile, so there's no teeth and whatever. And it kind of reminded me of that. And I said, as I'm reading, I thought, man, I got to do, this is like 5 months after the show, I got to do another one of him. That'd be great.
Right.
But I read more, and I read that Sasha Phillips, who was one of the big face subjects, who's a great painter, she is one of the family attorneys, and I read more. And I always say that ideas the word idea is the most important word in the English language.
Okay.
Everything we do is an idea. Every sentence you form in this podcast is a creative idea.
I love
and I started thinking I got to do. It was like pop. I always think ideas are like popcorn. They just to give yourself permission to listen to your ideas and act on them. And I thought, I'll do a big portrait of him, and I did, and I started putting it out on social media. Then I reached out to Sasha, and I said, what do you think about, we started going back and forth, what do you think about having a pop-up show involving some handful of Pittsburgh artists? But I thought of the Innovation Center where we had big faces, and one thing led to another, and I booked the Innovation Center, and it's like $4,000 to book it, and they gave me a good deal. And we went public. First of all, we had a Zoom call with his family, with his wife and sister, and they gave me the blessing. I needed their blessing, and they were all for it. And we went public a few days later, which is like 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah,
and
this was
called
quick. This
called
was
the
quick
creatives,
turnaround.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that we would get maybe 30, 40, and I fantasized about having 50 artists, 50 creatives, because I wanted photographers and sculptors to be involved.
Which has been a real unique twist to this whole
Yeah,
thing as
it's
well.
more than just artists, but as of last count, I typed in 107 names who have committed to the show, which is remarkable and a testament. And you gentlemen are part of the show.
We're honored to be. We're definitely honored to be.
I'm a little overwhelmed in many ways, but to put this together is quite a task, but it's also been a...
So I seen that he was, because I did some of my research as well, I seen that he was arrested for under a gram of marijuana. It was so small to put into perspective.
Like little vials. I mean, it was like little capsules.
Right.
It wasn't a big fat stogie.
Correct.
And, you know, he was like...
Or several pounds
Marley
of
wasn't
weed.
playing. It wasn't like...
Right.
It was medical purposes.
To put into a perspective of what he's about to lose. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's about to lose, I think, with 14 years, you said?
And he's sentenced to 14 years. He was essentially taken hostage.
Yeah,
and can you imagine if you're him? Every so often I'll think about being him. And it's also like there's thousands of people in the United States are unfairly incarcerated. So it's one, so that you want to kind of bring that to light. And there's a couple other people in Russia.
Strictly for marijuana. I mean, we got
was
marijuana.
it just... I mean...
It's terrible, man.
We promote the sale and use of alcohol and like... go to the bars and drink and celebrate your football team and go drive.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like the guy has a bad back
That's excessive. It's excessive. It really is, and it's there's a lot of things it can be, and I don't want to just insinuate it, but I think a lot of times when you have that badge of you're American on you, you become targeted. And it feels like now it's almost like, we've seen this happen before. These small, minute incidents, become blown out of proportion for political reasons, politics and all those other things. So it's just unfortunate to get caught up in that trap, because I feel like it's something you could really turn an eye to. I agree. I don't feel like it's, nothing that small is worth,
They took Brittany Griner hostage.
Yeah,
absolutely. She had for her knees, she would take cannabis for her knees for knee pain when she's playing basketball.
For medicine. It's a medicine.
We're not talking like recreational. We're talking medicine.
Migraine headaches. It's amazing what it does. But she was also taken hostage. But she had and good for her, she had a bigger platform. So as artists, we can provide Marc Fogel a bigger platform, a spotlight, and to cast a long shadow. So that's how it started. Now there's 106. People involved who have committed. We've got Chef Cloudy Pierre, who's one of the big faces. He's going to do the catering. He's awesome. He's a force of nature.
Chef.
You need to talk to him. You need to bring him on.
He's you know what? That might actually be a thing. We want to holler at him, man. He tore an Achilles dancing at a wedding like a month ago. So he's hot. Shout out to you, Cloudy. That's what type of guy Cloudy is. Shout out to Cloudy. Wasn't from playing fullback at Pitt. It was that. It was the butterfly. He got caught. He slipped up doing the butterfly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's get back.
So look, we do have to run some music. We got no amp set up every 20, 30 minutes. We have to play some songs. So we're going to take a short break.
Oh, I like it.
Hop over to the playlist. And guys, we'll be back live in a little bit. Corey, hit play something for
us. Let's play something.
It here with the
guys. We about to get down, Tom.
Let's go.
What?
Let me see. Freeway. Not yet. I'm waiting for you. All right. We're gonna play Freeway Free. That's my song. That's
This is Art Freeway. Let's go.
Are we still on?
Yeah, you can move on.
I look good.
Oh, you look amazing. You look amazing, Tom. Look amazing. Here we go.
Yeah, you gotta use that clip, man.
Yo, that's going in there. It may be out of focus, but that's going in there. He said,
Anybody out there? I think there are a lot of people out there.
Only us, man.
Sorry.
Nah, you're good, Tom.
Oh, phenomenal.
That's what we do.
So we got a good 3 minutes and
3 minutes.
Yeah. Chillax, that was good, man. I love that.
A good start,
right there.
man.
I think that was a great one.
Good start.
Really want digging deeper on that, That's unfortunate, man. Not even a gram.
Yeah, it was because I did some research.
Can you imagine you're in this situation? You're probably in epic pain because you're not getting any medical attention there. Absolutely. I don't think he's like getting the best medical attention.
No. And isn't it like a label, Joe? Isn't it one that have to do manual label?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That makes maximum security in America feel like kindergarten.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm serious. They say jails here are, for people in Russia, they say jails here are actually vacation for most of the guys that come from over there.
There's a Netflix series that Mara loves about this gentleman from England who was unfairly incarcerated for like 8 years. He was innocent. He got out. Now he goes around to prisons all over the world, and he becomes an inmate in theory, and he spends a few days there, and the cameraman follows around. I don't know how much, but there's some brutal. Tough, and in Eastern Bloc, the prisons they go to, it's rough. But you can imagine being there and then finding out Russia invades Ukraine, and now the United States and Russia are really going to be like this, and you really feel like you're just really isolated.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, I go back and forth to a Washington Post reporter who did a story about him. It's the great thing with social media, with Twitter and emails. You can find somebody's email and you can get to them.
Yeah,
right.
And why not take some shots?
Absolutely.
I'm going to producers behind 60 Minutes producers on Twitter. I'm like finding them and I'm sending them messages. And
that's how
why not?
That's how it is. That's how
it can happen.
That's the same thing that happened kind of with the dog at the museum as well, right? You kind of just shot your shot.
It went viral because an art gallery posted it on their website and
I'm talking about the ESPN thing.
Oh, the ESPN. Oh, my bad. I forgot. Yeah. So
I knew that one. I knew that was going there.
But I was hoping that Tony Kornheiser on the PT, pardon the interruption show, he does his show from home.
Yeah.
So he's got a wall behind him and a shelf, and I have a jingle that they play every 2 months on his show. Here comes Tony's mailbag, and I did it in my car too, like last year, and they play it like every 2 months, and they played my email and they like it, so I sent him a print of it as a thank you, and he read my email and he talked about it. He loved it, and I said to Mar, it would be awesome if you put it behind him.
And he did.
And he did.
He did it, man.
A friend of mine in New Orleans was at a bar, probably drunk. And he
was in New Orleans. I mean, you
took a picture of the screen.
First time I seen it, I was like, "Oh, that's Tom's."
He said, "Dude, Lucas is on PTI."
Oh man, Lucas was amazing. Every time you see me had paint on him, everywhere he was the nicest.
It was very taken care of, but
yeah, my God.
So they had it on for 5 days. It was it's just epic, and they talked about it on the podcast, and they reached out and they said, "Tom, people want to know where they can get a print. Can we give them your website?" And I said, "Yes, you may."
Yes, you may.
Absolutely.
And you need eyeballs on whatever way you can to get eyeballs on your work. If you know it's good, a certain piece is good. If the right people, if I was walking through the MoMA museum and I saw that, and I said, "Oh yeah, I can see that at the MoMA."
Oh man, that gave me chills right there. That my name and my work in the MoMA put together. That's beautiful. We back. We back too. This is beautiful. We are back.
Yo, this is art. We're back. It's Malcolm McCoy.
We are back with Malcolm McCoy. We got a special guest here, Tom Mosa. I get it right, Masa. I always say
I like Mosa better.
Mosa sounds so dope. I've been saying it. It is Masa. It is Tom Mosa, man. We're back with him. I've been saying Mosa ever since I met the man. So
I mean, when you got Corey O'Shea and Malcolm Xavier, what the heck? You got to spice up my name a little bit. Jeez. That's unfair.
Put a little sprinkle on it. Put a little Salt Bay on it.
You know what
I'm saying? A little Salt Bay on it. That's good.
So let's go and let's deep dive into this show. I think how you put the show together, we already understand why.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the how. Let's talk about what would be the best result from it.
Well, like I said, if you think of a runaway train, and runaway train, before it becomes a runaway train, it's just going really slowly, and you just push it off the rails, and then a couple hours later it's kind of going a little bit steady, 5 miles per hour, 11 miles per hour, then it hits a dip in the road and it goes down a valley and it's a runaway train. So that's what we're kind of hoping. And you have to, a micro idea you know, every sequoia started out as a seed, you know,
I
whatever cliche you can think of.
Every plant.
We want to shine a spotlight and hope it casts a long shadow, but it's also a way of showcasing the talent that's in Pittsburgh too. I mean, there's a lot of, this is a great story and an awful story at the same time.
That's what I see it as. I see it as a way to show how art can actually change the world, or help assist a thought that needs to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I think the best art in the world creates conversation.
I agree too.
And I feel like that's what this event is doing.
But I also think great art create uncomfortable conversations.
It can.
It can.
Yeah. And this show can.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to create a lot of uncomfortable conversations.
We're allowing creative freedom to, like...
as it should.
As it should. Yeah. I mean, and also the understanding of what we do as artists, our goal is to strike emotion in the viewers. If that's not your goal... You know, I want someone to see my work and find a piece of themselves in it. Mm-hmm. And I think as we do this with this project coming up, it's going to create more action, more people involved, because once they see themselves in his shoes, oh man, it's a whole different floodgate in comparison to he's just a guy in Russia. Yeah. We have to bring that connection together.
And maybe there's other cities that will have also a cause, and they can kind of form together, whether it might be and somebody in the local prison who's unfairly incarcerated. And
genius idea. Tom.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
What also is happening? I think there's around 8 Russian-born artists